Sportscast Sports Talk 101 on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. Sportscast Sports Talk 101.
Discuss, debate, entertain, and loud.
Sportscast Sports Talk 101.
You thought I forgot about you, didn't you? You thought I forgot about you, but I didn't. You see,
this is even better.
I could have laughed a whole lot longer, but I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait. I didn't want to overreact. It's the last game.
Dude, did you?
Just the laugh.
I mean, he tortured what's his name, Michael Irvins on.
Oh my God! I
just
saw that.
Torched him.
I saw that. It was so bad. Oh, it was so bad, but so funny. I thought about it. I was like, do I do this? Do I not? Let's just have fun with it and go with it. Although I didn't realize that it would put him below us, but that was actually even better. Yes, I saw. I don't have one. I got random logos, but how about Josh Allen?
Oh man, we got so much. First of all, brother, it's good to be back on the show. I know we took a break. I just want to say, man, I am so happy that my man that got that tackle, he is back.
He's home.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, man.
I didn't realize he literally died on the field. Like when I actually read the report,
twice the heart.
That dude, like literally, he got tackled to death. He dropped dead. Like, and I'm not trying to make it into a joke, but that was literally what happened. They brought him back. He was dead for a while before they brought him back.
Kudos to the staff, because if they didn't have the staff, I mean seconds. I mean they worked fast. Because he could have died if you had people didn't know what they were doing. So God.
No question. Between that then, the amount of support just blew my mind. He had a charity thing he was doing, and he only wanted 25,000. He had like $3.5 million by morning. I was like,
it boosted up to like $8 million now. So he's a good kid, man. He's honestly he's a good guy.
There were some though that were a little bit heartless on Twitter. Well, I only saw one at least, and he got. I don't know if he'll get disciplined, and I'm not. You know what? We're a sports show. We can talk this. It's news. Skip Bayless made a very. I read his quote that he tweeted out. He didn't retract it. But I wasn't really. That was a careless.
Some things. I can understand somebody getting a foot injury, some getting a concussion. This guy was like, they were giving him CPR on the field. Did you see Josh Allen? Did you see not only the Bengals, the grown men crying because they watched the man that I've never seen something like that happen on a football field.
I think the only time I've ever seen something like that is in the movies. Because that's where you don't see that.
No,
and
that's
one thing.
Rare
some injuries, but that in itself, that is extremely rare. And Bayless wrong timing for that one, buddy. Wrong time to be posted immediately after that and complaining about because they canceled the game. I applaud. There's not a whole lot of things that I applaud Roger Goodell for doing. But this was one of those. This was a rare thing that I give.
You got to give props up to the two coaches. The two coaches.
Oh,
met,
hell yeah!
And they said, you know what, dude, the hell with this game. Let's just it
wasn't the Bills. It was the other team's coach that initiated that because there were players going back on the field ready to play.
And then shout out, there was Bengals and Bills fans outside the hospitals praying, and it was good. Number three, man. Number three. I'm just glad, and we didn't do the sports cast. As much as I wanted to talk football, I really was just I don't know. It
was a
just
numbing
weird.
feeling.
It was
It would have been it's one of those where you're just kind of numb inside immediately after. Like I get Victor, the Jersey Boys had their show on Thursday. But there's enough time. There's a difference between their show and ours is immediately after a Monday night, and that was just you're still too raw for the emotions and everything.
Yeah. No, you're right. And shout out to those guys. And shout out to Sportscast and everybody, Santiago and everything. And I've been watching them pumping the news out on the social medias and stuff. A lot going on. Like the Niners beating the Washington Redskins on Christmas Eve, which I mean, you go back. I mean, come on, man.
You called it.
I mean, but that's not fair because they put Wentz. They had,
Yeah, we were. I went on Jersey Boys because I was asked, and they brought that whole mess up. I was asked about who made that call, and I said, well, that wasn't Rivera that made that call. I don't care if Rivera can say he made that call, but there's that ain't how that works. I can guarantee you that was Dipstick that needs to sell the damn team and get it over with. Because no part of me believes that. Just like I don't buy the written statement that was given by Rivera. I didn't know that was going to happen, that the game was on the line. Give me a break, dude. There's no chance in hell you didn't know that. I get that he may have made a mistake in saying that, but and you could tell he did the moment he countered that one with, well, I meant, we didn't expect to lose the game.
Man, you better know all your opportunities of how you're going to get it, wild card, and how you're going to get into the playoffs. You need to know the scenarios. You need to know because you got to get your team ready. But that doesn't matter because they're gone, just like your boy Aaron Rodgers is gone. Gone. And I think it's it. He's gone.
That made my heart so happy when they lost. Because
the only thing about it is Detroit won, but Detroit got bounced out by Seattle. So but they props. They did good. It was
who really deserves the biggest props is Jacksonville. Who would have thought that Jacksonville of all teams would be the one that would I give the Lions a lot of props.
Doug Peterson. Doug
Peterson. That is the only reason I think that they turned it around, because look at the drama that they had last year. Not on the field drama, but they had off the field drama like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, they did.
And all of a sudden, it's like a completely different team.
Gotta give it up to that awesome. They got an awesome quarterback. They got an awesome run. Hell, man, they got Jones, the receiver. Holy crap, they got a good team. But we'll go over who's gonna go through what. Wild card.
I got the news. I got a few things here.
What do you want to go?
We did have.
We go first.
We had one. I want to show this. I want to share an image real quick, because this blew my mind when I saw this on Twitter. Where is it? Share screen. I don't need to worry about audio. Look at this. This is crazy. Do you realize Patrick Mahomes is the AFC's oldest starting quarterback in the playoffs this year?
Yeah.
That I don't know if I should feel sad or if I feel old because of that. But quarterbacks to clinch a playoff spot in the AFC: Josh Allen 26, Mahomes 27, Lamar Jackson 25, Justin Herbert 24, Burrow 26, and I can't see and Trevor Lawrence 23. That's disgusting.
Well, hey, hold on, you forgot somebody else's name.
Yeah, there's other ones. It doesn't matter.
Those are all superstars. Those are all.
Are you talking about Tua? Because I don't. Is Tua even playing? I mean, does it really matter if he's playing? Because let's be real. Or is it going to be Skyler? I don't think it matters for any of those teams.
Look, Tom Brady is in the playoffs.
That He is. And do we know who he's playing? Who's the team they're
Dallas.
playing again?
Playing Dallas.
At Tom Brady in the playoffs at home is a dangerous Brady. And I'm not even worried about Tom Brady. History will repeat. I don't think this will be a Dak Prescott's gonna roll the ball type thing, touch the ball and screw it up. But this is still gonna be a one and done Dallas Cowboys team.
Ouch! See. I have an opinion. This is gonna be the game that's going to make Tom Brady retire, folks. This game right here. It's gonna be his last.
I don't know if he'll retire.
It's gonna be his last game. He's done. I'm done.
I don't know. We'll see.
And I also want to send a huge shout out to the man. Happy retirement to JJ.
Wow. Yes.
Happy. I didn't go sit here and lie, man. Eyes teared up a little bit when I saw him on the sideline.
Sad. He's a fixture with them. Yeah. And now I'm saddened because he's done. I won't be saddened with Brady being done because I
didn't like the 2 sacks he got on my boy though. I didn't like that though. I didn't like the 2 sacks. I was like, damn.
I don't believe that Brady will be retired at the end of the season.
Bro, what the hell? Was he going to play till he's 50?
He already stated that once.
I think Dallas going to put a whooping on Tampa. I think they're going to put a whooping on them.
I don't see it. I think any other team, I would agree. Any other team, I would agree. I don't. But this is also one. It's Dallas, so I don't agree with that because. How did Dallas do on Sun against Washington?
And I think this is what they needed. They needed that. They needed that.
There's a difference though. There's a difference though when you get with any other team. They got manhandled by Washington. They couldn't even. They could. It was just an ugly game for them. I don't think they did anything.
Well, in all fairness,
is Washington a better team than the Bucks? I don't know. The fan in me says yes. The Bucks are better because of the quarterback because Washington hasn't had a quarterback and since Mark Rippon, I think, might be the last time we've had a really good long-term quarterback. That's like when I said the last time that Washington's longest head coach has prior to what we've got now has been Norv Turner, and that's not saying anything.
That's terrible. Can I explain to you why Dallas lost?
Tell me.
I'll tell you why. Because they really didn't have any film on what's his name? Howell?
Yeah.
They didn't have. I mean, the guy. Look, he can run. He can run, man. He ran. And he got a touchdown. He ran 35 yards. He did throw an intercept. I mean, they didn't.
But the problem, Dallas didn't do anything. Prescott was 14 of 37, 128 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. That's garbage for him. They had no running game. I don't think Zeke showed up. Oh, wait, yeah, he did. He ran the ball 8 times for 10 yards. Oh, that's 1 yard to carry. I could do better than that.
No running game. No running game.
Nobody ran. They had CeeDee Lamb was the only highlight because of the touchdown. Otherwise, they had nothing. They had 2 fumbles.
Washington gave them a double dose of they gave them Terry Mack and they got Dotson. They got a double. One had 74 yards, the other one had 72 yards.
And Dotson was the one that was. I was excited, but he'd been injured for forever. But we also our running game stepped up. Jarrett Patterson, 17 carries for 78 yards. Like he basically said, "Hey, I'm here. Can I get a?" That it shows that Washington has one of the best running backfields that I've seen in a long time. They've usually in years past Washington's had one good running back, maybe 2, But this is one of the few times that I've seen them have several players in the backfield that can run the ball efficiently. I mean, Jonathan Williams, 14 carries, 32 yards. Yeah, it's 2.3 yards a carry, but Jarrett Patterson had the bulk of the handing with 17 carries for 78 yards. And then Sam Howell 5 carries for 35 yards. So
what does Commanders need help with? What did they help them get over the hump? Secondary,
and quarterback. A stable quarterback. They need to stop with this. Let's go for the big name players. They've got Sam Howell. They've got Heineke. Put those two and let them battle it out and see who's going to win. They need a long-term quarterback. That's what we've struggled at. We've got a running game. We've got receivers. We're starting to get an offensive line. Our defensive line is good. Secondary, our linebacking core is okay, but it's getting better. It's not as prime as it used to be when we had Kerrigan, but we can't. We're getting there. Secondary is still a weak spot for me, but the biggest concern going into this is we need a starting quarterback that is not going to just get replaced if he struggles. And I think that will happen by next season because I don't expect we'll have a new owner. We'll have the same coach. We'll have a new owner. We did get rid of our offensive coordinator, so that helps.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah. He actually worked with Rivera with the Carolina Panthers too, man. And hey, man, you know what? You've been working since the Panthers. You came out here to DC with me, but I gotta let you. Hey, it ain't gonna be me. It's gonna be you.
Wasn't he? Yeah, I mean that was. I saw it coming. I didn't expect that he was going to last that long. I'm surprised he made it 2 years, to be honest. But I get that he was.
Why the OC? Why the OC though, man? I mean,
because our defense, the offense is what struggled. Our offense struggled. That the job of the offensive coordinator is to make sure your offense works. We clearly had an issue with that. Our defense can't do anything, can't salvage a game when we have absolutely no offense. If we're not putting the points up, we're not. Washington, this right here tells you why he was canned. Washington was 24th in the NFL in points this past season, 25th in points in 2020, 23rd in 2021. That's terrible.
We're not didn't have your star receiver. You didn't have your star receiver. He's hurt.
But still, the other thing, and I get the exception would be quarterback because remember those 3 years that Turner was in charge, we also had Alex Smith, we had Dwayne Haskins, we had Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, Ryan Fitzpatrick. We had 5 different quarterbacks. I don't know anybody that can turn a team around when you're doing the quarterback carousel, and that's. Oh, and then we had Carson Wentz, and then back to Heineke, and then Sam Howell to finish it out. So, I mean, it was a shit show to be frank. That's it wasn't just the offensive coordinator. It wasn't just the offense.
Well, how would you like to be hired for 1 year and get fired? Lovie Smith. Smith.
I feel bad for him because Lovie Smith is a good coach. He just had a shitty season.
I mean,
now, unfortunately, my opinion is Houston's going to be the bottom of the barrel again next year because you're starting over again. Now you're going into another rebuild.
And do you know who said? Cook already says, "I don't want to be a part of a rebuild. I want out." Cook already said, "I want out. I want out. Get me the hell out of here." He's like, "Get me out of here."
Lovey will be a coach somewhere. He will be a coach again, or he'll be he'll be doing something. He'll be back in the league. But I'm kind of, part of me is sad to see him get fired, and I know it sucks, but that's probably a blessing in disguise because let's be real, dude. The Texans are a freaking dumpster fire. They are a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah, they are, and that goes all the way from the top, man. The top. That whole stuff. I mean, they watch what they got to go back to. You know who?
Yep.
I mean, they know what was up, and then they got rid of them.
And I give him credit. It's Lovey went in, and it was like when Rivera first went into Washington. Everybody was shocked when Rivera took Washington as the head coach, took their head coaching position, because you're like, why? All of these teams that needed jobs, and you take that one with that owner and that organization and those problems. And it was kind of the same thing with Houston at the time, because they were already struggling. But I get it. All right, he's got a year. Let's get it going. We got rid of this guy that was a cancer to the team. Maybe we'll turn around. And then he gets fired. I think that was stupid on their part. And I think we're going to see them just as bad next year.
I agree.
I did see, though, that since we're talking coaches and owners and things like that, Jerry said, no, Mike McCarthy's job's not at stake if we lose again. If we're one and done again, he's still going to be my coach. And you want to know why? This is my opinion why. He will be there as long as the last coach was. We all know who the prior Yes Man was. That was Jason Garrett. How many years were the Cowboys mediocre, 8-8, or they were 500, or they would win, but they wouldn't make it to the playoffs, or they would, and they would be one and done. McCarthy's no different. McCarthy's another yes man. So of course he's not going to go anywhere.
Well,
you don't argue with the boss.
Well, he did say, I don't even want to know that is. He said, I don't need to go into all the pluses and the minuses. I've got a lot more to evaluate Mike McCarthy in the playoffs. See what he does in the playoffs.
Well,
I got them to beat the Buccaneers, folks. I got them to beat the Buccaneers.
I'm going Brady and the Bucs, but that's just that's me. I like what the Lions GM said about Brad Holmes said about Jared Goff. Given how they turned that season around, and and Goff looked awful at the beginning, and it just slowly turned.
Chemistry, man.
Brad Holmes, the GM's Brad Holmes said, I never really deemed Jared Goff a bridge quarterback. And that should say that to me, that says a lot for Jared Goff, because let's be real, he struggled for 2 seasons.
Right.
He struggled last year.
Well, everybody was
you're coming off of you're coming from Sean McVay and the Rams.
Everybody was looking at that trade. You do the trade, and the guy goes and wins the damn Super Bowl. Now you're looking at this year. The team is eliminated. They almost got in. They actually look good.
Look at Goff's numbers, though. Goff in 2022, 65.1% of his passes completed, 4,438 yards, 29 to 7 touchdown to interception ratio, and a 99.3 passer rating. That's the best that I've seen him in a long time. And they said Goff helped the Lions finish above 500 for the first time since 2017. Now, that doesn't seem like a long time ago, but in football terminal years, that's like eons.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that is.
That's like eons. That combination of results and the GM's evaluation of the draft quarterbacks. See, and the fact that he said that, and the draft this year, I've looked at it. The draft this year is stacked.
What's going on, Crow? What's going on, Crow? And if you look at the beginning of the game, they beat themselves. Those were games that they could have won in the beginning, and then so I think you just need to get pieces, man. You got to get some pieces to fit in there.
And look how they did. They went 3-13-1 last year, ended up with the 2nd overall pick.
Right.
They got Aiden Hutchinson, who definitely made an impact with them. For them, did. I mean. And now look where they are. The offense finished 6th in passing yards per game and 5th in passing yards per play. That's a big difference for the last couple of years that they've been, struggling. And I've said this before, that they eventually, them and Jacksonville, those were my 2 teams that I think were gonna turn it around, and I think we would definitely see that next season. I think those are going to be your teams, and maybe possibly New York Jets. I think the 3 teams that were the laughing stocks will now be teams that you're not going to be able to second guess.
I gotta be honest with you. I thought Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks was going to be the laughing stock. I really did. And I thought the Denver Broncos with Russells, I thought they were going to be, good Lord, I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, you talk about an epic failure of
They got this deal of the century. If you look at that trade and all the stuff that Seattle got, they're going to be okay. Yep. But I got to Geno made the Pro Bowl. I got to give him props. He did kind of start to suck towards the end, though. He started playing like the old Geno towards the end. But hey, they're in the wild card and they're playing.
Yep, hey, that is all that matters at this point. I did see some other news. I saw the Ravens and linebacker Roquan Smith agreed to a 5-year deal, 5-year, $100 million contract extension. So Roquan, if you're out,
Jackson, they need to.
But the thing is with Jackson, I was listening in on earlier on Sports Talk or Sportscast. Santiago and Joe were talking about this, that Lamar, he doesn't have a contract.
He don't have an agent. He's the one doing the contract.
But the thing is, he has no contract. He's not playing yet because he's still recovering. Do you think that he may not want to play because he's going to want either more money or he's going to want out? And nobody's going to take him if he's injured. You're trading, your value is lower when you're injured. We all know, we saw that with Jimmy in San Francisco. Like,
right.
That was why
but then again,
they couldn't get rid of him.
But Dak got hurt, and what's his name did the right thing.
Yeah,
Jerry Jones, they paid Dak.
The thing is, though, there's a difference between Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson. And I don't know, the team and the owner are behind Dak Prescott with the Cowboys, and I don't know if the Ravens are. They may say they are on camera, but
who they gonna get? Who they gonna get? There's nobody, man. And
there's Joe Flacco.
You got to look at it. Jamar is the franchise. He puts the butts out. Now he ain't no Michael Vick, but
he wants to. He might want to be.
But
Vic didn't get injured that often as he does.
They gotta sit down. What Jackson needs to do, though, man, he need to get some professional representatives because he's trying to do the deal himself, and he's not an agent. He needs to get somebody to work out a deal.
Also, I'm going to shift real fast, then we'll go back to football or NFL. But did you catch that?
Don't go there. Don't go there. I already know where you're going. You talking about the beat down of the century, the worst. like you took your kid to the woodshed out in the back.
But saying that Georgia's defensive tackle Jalen Carter announced that he was entering the draft after the Bulldogs won their national title.
Do you know who I picked to win?
That was painful to watch.
I picked TCU.
You didn't put money on it, did you?
Man, I'm so glad I didn't put no.
Oh man, that was just
Fort Worth, Texas. What happened? Good Lord! Man. Oh my God!
Might have seen this. Yeah, that was that was brutal. Woo, man.
Yeah, that. Oh,
look at that. So as we, that was brutal. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. But since shifting back to the NFL, did you see the Colts? We all know how that train wreck ended.
Yeah.
That GM Chris Ballard admitted himself and the organization failed in 2022. You think?
You failed at Luck, Andrew Luck. You have not replaced Andrew Luck since that man has left.
Yeah, they failed on a whole lot of different things.
Stop. Let me tell you something. Stop getting these beat down veterans. Get you somebody in the draft and build around this kid, whoever it is. Get somebody in the draft. You need Colts need a franchise quarterback.
The draft is pretty stacked this year. But then again, the other thing is free agency is going to be crazy. So we got a stack draft coming up, and then we got a loaded quarterback quarterbacks in free agency because you've got Jimmy, probably is there. Baker Mayfield,
might Trey Lane.
Technically, well, yeah, right. Well, him too, but technically Tom Brady. Technically, we don't know where Rodgers, if he's going to retire. Is he going to stay with Green Bay? Is he going somewhere else? My theory is he's going to the Jet. He'll be with the New York Jets next season. I think he's going to follow Uncle Favre's path. But I don't know. He may retire and go to Jeopardy. For all we know.
I think he's going to retire. I
don't know, but I think that the issue at hand, though, also the theory that the reason I think I could see him go to the Jets or something like that is one, they're not going to want him in the NFC because they're not going to want to risk facing him. We know that because that was the same issue they had with Favre. But the other reason is I don't think they're sold on Jordan Love. I don't think they're sold on him, so they're going to need somebody to replace him. So I don't know if it would be. I just use the Jets because that's where Favre went. The Jets do have some quarterbacks that could be a potential in a deal, but we won't know until the season's over. I mean, and
you forgetting somebody, man. You're forgetting somebody.
We also
Derek
who am I forgetting?
Carr.
Derek Carr.
Carr.
That would be our biggest.
Because he ain't gonna be a Raider, folks. He is not gonna be a Raider.
That is, man. That's the changing of the tides, isn't it?
You got Derek Carr. I think Atlanta. I think they're not sold on Mariota.
So the top 50 players set to enter free agency this year, and we got there's a lot of quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, free agent. Geno Smith, free agent. Tom Brady, free agent. That's just your top 3 players. Then you've got Javon Hargrave, defensive lineman. I'm looking through and see if there's anybody really big names. Jacoby Myers, wide receiver. It's a lot of offensive players. I'm just looking more for quarterbacks. Roquan Smith was going to be a free agent, but obviously that has been taken care of. Josh Jacobs is a free agent, running back for the Raiders. Saquon Barkley is a free agent technically. I haven't heard an extension announced, so he's theoretically a free agent. Patrick Peterson, cornerback with the Vikings. Cam Sutton is a free agent. Let's see any other big names I can see.
And some of these teams are going to sign their players. They're going to get their players
We're just
back.
listing what the names are, because I can guarantee you some of these people some will go, some will get re-signed. Jadeveon Clowney, I'm betting the Browns will let him go because that was just such a wasted talent. He had so much potential and was just a big old bust of a player. Hold on, my headset.
There you go.
Plug my headset in. Let's see. And I've just got the top 50 because Juju Smith-Schuster, free agent. Mike Gesicki, free agent. That would be one that the Dolphins would want to keep because I don't know if you want to let that tight end go. He's good. He would get picked up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Melvin III, he might stay there in Miami. Tony Pollard. You think he's going to leave Dallas?
I would leave Dallas, man, because I think he could start. He can actually go somewhere and start somewhere.
Yeah, that's just the few that I was able to pull up. It's interesting stuff. This is, like I said, this is one of the most. There's been years where the free agency has been, like just full of players, but I think this one in particular is just going to be one of the bigger ones. And I think it's literally just because of quarterbacks, running backs, the big name players that we've known. And there's been some other firings. There'll be some head coaching hirings and firings. We had
there's going to be guys that's just going to have to test the market because teams are just not going to put the money up. The days of that running backs, they don't I mean, you only got like a certain lifespan, and then you are move on.
Yeah. Well, and then we're talking players. We also got to think of coaching staff, because coaches are going to are going to be having the same thing. You've got the Cardinals now need a new head coach and GM. Now the GM, I know he stepped down because of health reasons, so that's understandable. But I kind of wasn't. I wasn't, but I was surprised that they canned the head coach. But I heard enough rumors throughout the grapevine that he was going to get the axe, so it didn't really shock me much. But I also know that there's been rumors of Sean Payton. Sean Payton's name's already been going around. I know he interviewed with the Broncos yesterday. I haven't I haven't caught anything to see what exactly happened with
I
that.
would love to see him and Russell if he could. I mean, if he could hook up with Russell, that could be something else. And then they did lose their running back. He was out. Williams, he was done, and so
here's one that popped up. It would be good because Russell Wilson, I think, quarterback wise, not the same as Peyton's last quarterback he had, but because I mean there ain't many people that can match Drew Brees,
right.
that level of talent. But Russell Wilson gives him a really good quarterback to start with. But the other thing is, now I saw, so on him there was on the Saints wire, there was talking about Sean Payton reminisces on summer job as the Cardinals ball boy and the relationship with the Bidwell family. And there were rumors a while ago that he could end up there, and everyone's like, no, because they'd have to fire their coach, and they're not going to get rid of Kingsbury. It's that's just not going to happen. They were doing too well and all
Right.
that, and I'm just like, and yet he's out here reminiscing and bringing up this family. He's been friends with the family and all that. And my headset may actually kick the bucket. I don't know if it's going to charge, but we'll meet that bridge when it comes. So he said, and this is just a quote from him. I was a ball boy for this team, Peyton said unprompted during an interview with Colin Cowherd back in November after the Cardinals lost to the Broncos in Week 12 and fell to 4-8. And so the early years there in 83, 84, and 85, it was head coach Jim Hanifin. Oof, Jesus, that's going back. And then it became Gene Stallings. God, Lord. We'd clean the rooms, bring towels to the rooms. We had a summer job. Neil Lomax had just taken over for Jim Hart at quarterback. Oh, my God. Woo! Man, how does he even remember the names? He had to be researching. Like, all right, let me remember who these quarterbacks were, because ain't no way he remembered that off the top. He said, Mr. Bidwell Sr. was the owner at the time, and I think I know that family well enough. Peyton added that high school student Joe Buck was also around at that time, and he helped show the future broadcaster some of the ropes. Ain't that something? So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the issue that I've noticed here is 2019 under Kingsbury, the Cardinals missed the playoffs. They went 5-10-1. They were 8-8 in 2020, missed the playoffs. 11-6 in 2021, which they made the playoffs. They lost to a wild card to the Rams, and then they went 4-13 and missed the playoffs again. It's not a good look for since 2019. Just throwing.
Nope. And it's all about what have you done for me lately. We got America Go. Who are these handsome? I'm not a come on, dude. I'm not a Commander fan. Come on now.
Yeah.
Niners.
And to be fair, Bidwell did grin and decline to get into details about the candidates he was because they asked the ownership about it, and he just smiled and declined to get into details.
They're not going to talk about that.
But the other thing, that the biggest factor that everybody has to realize is it doesn't matter where Peyton wants to go or what team wants to hire him. They still have to factor in the Saints, because he's still under contract with the Saints. And there was ESPN actually put out an article where what would it take to acquire the former Saints coach, and it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen, because I think there's going to be. We've seen it before, but I just don't know how much you're going to have to give up to get him. The Broncos have fired 2 coaches within the past year. Vic Fangio was fired January 9th after a 7-10 finish. Hackett was fired December 26th following a 4-11 start to this season. So I really don't know where he's going to go. But you've got the Texans looking for a coach. You've got the Panthers. So you got the Panthers, the Colts, and the Broncos. You got like at least 4 teams right there, and then the Cardinals. So add in the Cardinals, you got, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that need a head coach, and Peyton's going to be the hot one right off the bat.
Right.
So they were saying that, let's see, any conversation, the Saints would likely try to start any conversation at a first-round pick, because he's under contract until 2024. And it doesn't seem likely that he's going to come back to the Saints either. So, but we've seen coaches get traded, because Bill Parcells got traded, Mike Holmgren, and Bill Belichick. So, John Gruden, technically, John Gruden got traded. Herm Edwards and Bruce Arians were all coaches that got traded. Now, obviously, the Gruden trade, Gruden won a Super Bowl for Tampa. It didn't work out when he came back. Parcells made it to the AFC Championship game within 2 seasons and resigned after 3 seasons. Holmgren actually did pretty well. He took the Seahawks to the playoffs 7 times, and then resigned after 4-12. And then we don't even need to really talk about Belichick, because we saw how that worked out.
Right.
And Arians won a Super Bowl within 2 seasons of Tampa. And, so. All right, so now let's get to the fun part, and that's talking playoffs.
Yes.
That's what we're here for. So first game of Super Wildcard Weekend. I'll let you take it from here.
Well, look, man, we've already beat down Seattle. They got Geno. Geno's on he's been on a kind of like a down climb. He's been going down. Come on, man, Seattle's going down that day. Niners all the way. It's going to be our 11th streak. I mean, we're on a 10. I'm going to tell you something. Purdy is going to be the first quarterback to be picked last and take the team to the Super Bowl. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here, folks.
ESPN actually had an article about that. A backup quarterback winning a Super Bowl. It's been done before.
This is a Disney movie. Disney movie in the making, folks. I mean, can you look at the chemistry? He's like him and Kittle. He's throwing passes to Kittle. Ayuk. I mean, CMC. Oh my God, man!
Dude, There's not many teams that I can say when they acquire a player, whether it's via trade, that they make an immediate impact. I will say that the Vikings had that with Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Immediate impact.
Yeah.
That report that he made with Cousins, and CMC with going to the Niners. That was like immediately his first game, right out of the gate. It was an immediate impact.
So I'm very, and don't forget, we still have Mitchell, we got CMC, we got Ray McLeod, we got running backs, we got receivers, Ayuk, we got Debo's back. We got we're good. And hello, we got the best defense. And folks, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. And we got the best damn defense.
I agree with that, because I remember the Bears made it.
God, I remember that. Who was that? Orton? Who was the kid they had a long time ago? What the hell was that kid's name? Kyle Orton?
Hold on one sec.
Not a problem. I remember, there's a lot of teams that had so-so quarterbacks and had the defense. So I got the Niners going to the Super Bowl, folks. That's right. Purdy's gonna take them. All right. Vet's taking a little break. Man, we got Seattle, San Francisco. You know I'm going with San Francisco. Then we got the Los Angeles Chargers and Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm gonna have to go with the who am I gonna go with? Chargers. Go with the Chargers. Then we got Miami and Buffalo. Going with Buffalo. We got the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. Going with the Vikings. And then we got Baltimore and Cincinnati. Going with Cincinnati. And then we got the Dallas and Tampa. I'm going with Dallas. And I think this is gonna be it for
I heard that. I came right back. Going down. No chance.
All right.
Sorry, folks.
All right. So we gonna rewind.
Hate to burst that bubble.
So I got San Francisco beating Seattle. I think Bosa. Bosa and the boys, they're gonna go after Geno Smith, man. And 49ers definitely have a so-so quarterback. You can call him all you want, but he's been winning. He ain't so-so. He's winning games. 10 straight.
Since Maker wants to say 49ers have
Maker don't even have a team. He just wants to jump in
here. I
will
say this though, that I read an article and I was reading something that moments after Jimmy broke his left foot back in December against the Dolphins, John Lynch, there was an article talking about how John Lynch's phone pinged and he got a message from Tony Dungy, one of Lynch's mentors, former head coach from his time at the Bucs. Dungy's message said, "You guys are in good shape, just like in '99." So I'm not concerned because I wasn't a fan of Purdy in college. He because he performed too well, and I'm not an Iowa State fan. That was my issue. I'm a Hawkeye, so that was our rival. But he performed really well, and stepping in for an injured quarterback, that being the last pick in the draft, he has impressed me beyond belief. The '99 Bucs team also had Super Bowl aspirations. They lost their quarterback Trent Dilfer, turned to rookie Sean King back at that time. They came up short to the Rams because, I mean, let's be real, you can't take out Kurt Warner. That that just wasn't going to happen.
Nope.
But Kurt Warner was also a backup quarterback, a previously unknown backup quarterback, just like Brock Purdy. And let's be real, backup quarterbacks can win Super Bowls. Pretty sure the Redskins had shut up.
Nick.
I don't care.
Nick.
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, Doug Williams, MVP.
Doug Williams
did
it as well.
Yeah.
So we
sure did.
It has been done, but also the fact that we so let's see, since the NFL AFL merger in 1970, 9 backups have led their teams to championships. And it's not a big group. It's a small group, but it includes Kurt Warner, Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw, and Tom Brady. One who revitalized his career, Jim Plunkett. Trent Dilfer did it. Jeff Hostetler, we all know who that guy was.
Yeah.
Doug Williams, and your guy Nick, your boy Nick Foles. Wilson, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Wilson?
Well, speaking.
Let me just throw something. Purdy was 15 to 20, 178 yards. He averaged 8.9. He had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, got a QBR of 51.5 and a quarterback rating of 141.3. This guy is a stud, man. He's a stud.
Do you know that so when the 49ers host the Seahawks, let's see, that Purdy, he was the 262nd pick and final pick in the draft of the 2022 NFL draft. He will be the lowest drafted quarterback to ever start a playoff game by 110 picks. He would become the first rookie starting quarterback. If he can make it all the way to the Super Bowl, he will be the first rookie starting quarterback to lead his team to a Super Bowl appearance. And if he wins it, that would even put him even higher, up there.
Let me tell you something. We did what we had to do. We got home field. I can't. Santa Clara is going to go. I mean, good Lord. Seattle.
Yeah. When they win, if they make it all the way, the streets of San Francisco are going to look like those in Georgia when the Bulldogs won.
Oh man, let's not. Whew, that was a
but no.
ultimate
So
butt kick.
I'm also going with the Niners. There's no question on that one. I will say this: that my Super Bowl pick is the Niners, because I said that on Thursday when I was on. You wait till you hear my AFC pick. I've got two teams that I will give, but my NFC pick is the Niners, which I stated that on Jersey Boys Sport show on this past Thursday when I was there. So what are we up next? The next game is Jacksonville and the Chargers.
Who you going with?
This will make you laugh. I went with Jacksonville on this one because
really
I'm going with the underdog Jacksonville because they're doing. I don't know. The fact that they're even in the playoffs surprised me. But they've got a coach that knows how to go the distance and get to where get to that the pinnacle of the game, and that is the Super Bowl. So I'm going with Jacksonville for the upset of the. I would put that as the upset of the playoffs. I'm going to guess, and I'll save the end pick for my AFC pick for the Super Bowl. Because it's gonna. I got a goofy one, and then I got my realistic pick. So,
Eckler, the running back. He's a good running back. Herbert, he's an awesome quarterback. I just think that's just gonna be too much for the Jags. I don't think they're gonna be able to stop.
This is what I'm looking at the stats. So you break down offense, defense, passing rating. This is what shocks me the most is the Chargers are 8th for offense, but Jacksonville's 9th. So they're not that far off. Defense, Chargers are 20th, but Jacksonville is 24th. Once again, not that far off. Passing, obviously that's clearly the Chargers, but they're 3rd, but Jacksonville's 10th. So once again, not that bad for that. And then rushing, the Chargers came in at 30th and Jacksonville at 14th. I think it's going to be a good matchup. And the last time that they met, now I don't think that this is going to be the score we're going to see. The last meeting between Jacksonville and the Chargers, Jacksonville won at 38-10, but that was at the beginning of the season. That was when they started off hot, and we were like, preaching, I was probably one of those that was preaching Jacksonville's going to do things, and they tanked for a while, and then they somehow, I don't know what they did. They turned it around. So I'm going them. I'm going to give them the upset pick. Throw my hat in for the.
I think Herbert. I believe in Herbert. I think they're going to pull it out.
It will be fun regardless, either way.
Yes.
That'll be a fun one. Sunday afternoon is going to be an emotional one, I think, because the first game is Miami at Buffalo. It's going to be emotional for the Dolphins fans because they're going to make that trek all the way up to Buffalo to go home losers. But it's going to be an emotional one because just what Buffalo's been going through with Hamlin being with everything that happened at the end of the Bengals game to turn around him in the hospital, then to be back home. He's going to be there if he can make it to that game. He's going to be there, and I think that's going to boost them. Not to mention Miami's got no chance in hell of beating Buffalo in Buffalo. I'm not sure who's going to be quarterbacking.
It's Thompson. It's going to be the kid Thompson. It ain't Bridge.
Oh Jesus,
it's going to be Thompson.
Oh, that poor kid. He may want to call in sick.
Hey,
he's good. He's good. He's not playoff let's go to Buffalo in the playoffs, and I'm going to beat you good.
Right.
But he's good regular season. Good, I guess.
First of all, we are totally forgetting something that happened in the Buffalo Bill games. In the very beginning of the game, my man ran. What did he do? 1 yard kick return, and then he came back. Then he came back. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, pull that stat up because I think that was actually a record that he set for that in that game. While you're doing that, I'll just preach the stats. Dolphins 6th in offense. Bills are 4th in offense. Defense, the Dolphins are 18th, but the Bills have the number 1.
Right.
Passing 4th goes to the Dolphins. The 8th ranked is passing is the Bills. Bills are 9th in rushing, where the Dolphins are 25th. So
Naheem, 96-yard kickoff return. Then came back and did 101-yard kick return. I think Buffalo Bills guys with the number 3, they're gonna be playing for him. I think they got the momentum, and I just feel sorry for they're gonna kill this team.
It will not be like their last meeting. Their last meeting was December 17th, 2022. The Bills won that one 32-29. I don't see the Bill or the Dolphins putting up those kind of points. I don't think it's going to be a 3-point game is what I'm getting at. Maybe they do, but the Bills are just going to blow this team out of the water. I mean, it's going to
I hope so, because if they don't, it's going to be a huge, huge disappointment. Because
if Miami pulls off, if Miami can pull off the upset, that would be, God, if Jacksonville won, that would be the upset. But I think Miami knocking off Buffalo would be an even bigger upset. But we have seen that happen before. We've seen the Patriots on a roll and get knocked out. So
I'm going with Buffalo. I believe in Josh Allen.
Yep. 3:30, our afternoon Sunday game is the Giants at Minnesota. Now I know Victor and Byron and everybody else was like, "Now the Giants got this." Even Joe said this on Santiago's Monday update, that they're all going Giants, and I'm like, no. And a lot of it is, when is the Vikings' luck going to run out? And I wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't know how the hell they managed to get where they are, playing the way they did for most of the season, because you can only. And I can't even say this, that normally you could only win when you have 4 quarters. You can't win a game in just 2 quarters. Yet here we are with the Vikings.
Right.
And on the other side of it, God damn, how about them Giants?
I hate to say sorry to my fellow colleagues, but come on, man. I'm going with the Vikings.
Now, I agree with you. I'm going Vikings on this, but I will say, if you look at history for the Giants, I do recall 2 prior times that they snuck to the playoffs at an 8-8 or whatever record, but they snuck in as the away team, and they were on the road every single game, and they ended up winning a Super Bowl twice. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to do that this time, but you know what? If history repeats itself, I may have to rethink everything with this, because once again, it's one thing during the regular season. The playoffs bring out a different side of every team. So, who knows what we'll see. The difference, one of the biggest differences with this Vikings team is the fact that Kevin O'Connell has designed that offense as of late. He built that team and that entire offensive game plan around Cousins' skill set, the skills that he has. You know who else did that? Kyle Shanahan did that. So did Sean McVay. Okay. And that was, the last 2 seasons that Cousins was in Washington. Where do you think Kyle Shanahan was? He was in Washington. So was McVay. They both did the same thing. That's why Cousins looked so good on paper statistic-wise, it's why he got franchised and made like $80 million in 2 years as a franchise quarterback, franchise tagged quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There are not many quarterbacks that can. Yeah, he raked in a crap ton of money out of Washington because they did not want to sign him long term, and they kept franchise tagging him. And he and it just took the right coach. And I had said this all along in Minnesota for the Vikings. If they got a coach that would build that offense based on his skill set, he would be a superstar for that team. And he proved my point. So like I said, I'm going Vikings on that one. I think that I give credit to the Giants for turning their season around.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It definitely helped with having a healthy Saquon, and bravo to Daniel Jones. I mean, he proved me wrong as well because I was not a fan of him. As we move toward our Sunday night lineup is
Bengals.
Well, yeah,
Bengals.
I mean it's basically the Bengals versus I guess the Ravens. I mean, some of them will be there. I mean, I don't think it's going to be much of a game. So there ain't much to really talk. The Bengals, they know what they want. You got the Burrow's going to just demolish that team. And then we go to Monday night. And that's where Ray and I are on a different page for who's going to win that one. Because that is Dallas at Tampa. Dak against Brady. It's like the third time we've seen this. I'm sure there's going to be controversy again. I'm already saying that Brady's going to win it because the Cowboys' history will repeat itself again, and they'll be one and done. Just like my good buddy Stephen A. has said at the start of the show about them Cowboys, just with a barrel of laughs.
I think don't count the Cowboys out. I think they're gonna beat your boy, Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's he's gonna be thinking about retirement, and he's gonna retire.
Now, the other side for me with this is that the Cowboys can beat the Bucs. And I agree, they have the talent. It's that talent needs to show up. Because if the talent that was at the Washington game shows up, they're going to get demolished. If the talent that we know can show up, the Cowboys are going to smack the Bucs around. So, but you know what? It's the NFL. Anything can happen. We've seen that. We have seen that all season long. That anything can happen because I don't know it.
Jeff, I can pick anybody I want, and I picked the Cowboys.
So, and I will say for my AFC pick for the Super Bowl, my comical pick will be Jacksonville. Just to throw that one out there, just for shits and giggles. But I think it's going to be the Niners and the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
No disrespect to the Chiefs. And I don't give the Eagles will fall apart. But I think it's going to be a Niners-Bengals Super Bowl. And I think the Niners will win it. So, but I think it'll be a good matchup either way. But that's my Super Bowl pick. Which I think would be a good one.
Super Bowl, huh? Super Bowl. I'm gonna wait.
So,
let me get through the wild card, folks, and then
let me get
through the wild cards, and then I'll make my Super Bowl.
I may have to adjust it after the wild card's over because some of my picks may end up being gone, but you never know. But with that being said, we are going to finish it up here. We will see you guys same time, same place next week. Getting to talk NFL, our reactions to the playoffs. I will actually be live Saturday and possibly Sunday. I'm going to be doing a live stream of the 49ers game on Saturday and then a live stream of the Vikings game on Sunday. I'll be live streaming the entire game, talking during it as I watch and give my thoughts during the game, and I'll just have the stat thing up that the NFL shows. So Ray may make a guest appearance. I don't really know, but we'll see.
CMC, man, I think he'll do 50 yards receiving and probably 50 yards rushing. Because that's what he does, man. He's scrimmage monster.
I will agree. I could see it happening, and that was probably one of the best trades besides the TJ Hawkinson one that the Vikings picked up. But all right, guys, we are out of here. We'll see you on the next one next week.